right, y'all, what's good? It's your boy ReaLife, and you're listening to another episode of Validated Radio. And as always, I got my homie with me, Innocent, and don't forget the question mark. And today's guests go by the name of Star and Lyphe, two dope MCs. So let's get into it. What's y'all earliest memory of hip hop culture?
You want me to I take that from just us solo or as a group?
Nah, it could be solo.
Just hip hop culture. Like I remember my older sisters listening to like Pumpkin and the All Stars. And I mean, that's literally like, after that is probably like Lottie Dottie or something like that. But just literally playing that record in my mom's living room, dancing, probably they was high or whatever, but just,
Nah, that's dope.
Like for me, it has to be Lottie Dottie. I actually remember my mom's and me was actually living with a friend of hers, and she had a son that was a little bit older than me, maybe like 6-7 years older than me. And he played Lottie Dottie on repeat. And he played it so much that I had it memorized at like 7 years old. I was able to spit the whole thing. I'm talking about the parts, through the voices, perfect and everything. So yeah, man. Dope. Slick Rick, Lottie Dottie, for real.
Nah, that's dope. So how did y'all two come together?
Can I say something too real quick? Because it's funny. I mean, we don't do a lot of interviews, but when we do, we generally tell the same story over. But I feel like this is the first time I didn't say Lottie Dottie, like intentionally. That's really like, this is the first time I think I heard you say that you memorized the words to that song at 7.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And it's crazy because I'm 2 years younger than him, but that boy, he be like, and what's your ring up? I can't be your lover. Like, that was like my favorite part, being a little kid, hearing that, like, oh, this is crazy.
Mm-hmm. And y'all know, if y'all was trying to hide your age, y'all just blew it.
That's fine. Listen, we want everybody to know up front. We really old rappers.
Now hold up. That song came out what year?
Which one?
85. So 85, you know what? I was 8 years old. I was 8.
Wow.
I'll say it. I was 8.
Yeah. I was 5 though. I'm young. You know what I mean? I'm still, I'm gonna try and fight in shape of my life over here.
Yeah.
I hear you. So how did y'all two end up linking?
I feel like I always answer this question, but how it happened was we already, how just in the hood, somebody, but you might not know them, right? Like, we knew each other from playing Street Fighter 2, the video game. And honestly, we didn't even know each other's names, you know what I'm saying? But we always played each other in Street Fighter, like almost probably on a daily. And one day I was coming home from school. I went to one of the spots that we play at. It was wild crowded. People was everywhere. I'm like, yo, what's going on in here? I walk in, I see one of our mans. It's like a cipher, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's crowd, girls everywhere, dudes everywhere. And, I see a mutual friend that him and I both know, but everybody knew him. His name was Red Skull. He from Staten Island. He had just got to Yonkers, a little while beforehand. And, everybody knew he was dope. And I'm like, all right, well, who was he battling? You know what I'm saying? Because, like at that point in our age bracket, like nobody could really mess with this dude. And I'm like, who was he battling? And I see Lyphe. And I'm like, hold up. This is my man, that we be playing Street Fighter. So, in my opinion, he won the battle. Like, it was clear as day. So when he was done, I hit him. I had DJ equipment at the time. And I was like, yo, you want to come back to my crib and make a demo? And that's literally it.
I think to put a little bit of emphasis on that battle, I always like to kind of add in this little bit of information, is that at the time I had just moved to Yonkers, maybe like I think 6 months before or something like that. I was going to one particular high school and I ended up getting kicked out, like for fighting and stuff like that. So my mom's, she had us going to this church. So she was like, you know what, the church got a school. I want you to go to the church school. So I'm automatically in suit, tie, high water pants every day, stupid
and
shoes.
A North Face jacket and a North Face too, a black North Face.
A dusty North Face.
I didn't want to say it though. I didn't want to say that.
But listen, so I'm rocking this every day. So I'm battling this dude in my church clothes, like in my tie and everything. Everybody going crazy, and like I could hear people around me like, yo, this kid is dusting them off in his church clothes. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Facts.
you know, it was
Facts.
yeah, it was dope. It was crazy.
No, that's
That's
what's up.
dope.
Yeah, for sure. So at what point did y'all realize like, yo, instead of us doing it solo, like we need to do it together?
It was a
mean,
long time coming.
Or
Yeah,
or were y'all with other cliques before y'all linked?
I honestly, I wasn't even rapping at the time. I did not even know how to rap. So that's number one. I just happened to, I knew two dudes that was DJs, real talk. And I could barely DJ too. So I'm gonna throw that out there too, just to get that out the way. Hold on one second. And sorry. So the dudes that I knew, one was a Filipino dude, one was an Italian dude. And you know, I told them about Life immediately. And they was like, yo, we should just form a group. So it ended up being a group with 3 DJs and 1 rapper. And then after a while,
because that was a good idea.
huh? Yeah,
that was a good idea.
Yes, with the sarcasm. After a while, they was like, yo, we probably should have another rapper in the group. And they was like, yo, you know, like, we think that it should be me. And I was like, but I don't rap. And they was like, you know, like at that time, not too many white dudes was rapping. Definitely, I never seen a Filipino rapper. No disrespect to nobody's culture, but they was like, by default, you fit the mold of a rapper being a young black teenager. You know what I mean? So you gonna be the rapper, and that was that.
So I gotta say, like, from past experiences and people that might be listening and don't know, we're assuming nobody wrote for you. Like Eazy-E, when they pulled him in and said, you're gonna be a rapper. So we're gonna write these rhymes and pass you this book. So let's just get it clear. Let's get it clear.
And I appreciate you asking that too. But yeah, you know, they left me to my own devices, and I managed to concoct a couple bars here and there.
So you had it in you, but you just never really rapped. Pause. Yeah. You had the hip hop, rap, you know.
And I always tell this part too, like, and Life be thinking that I'm playing, like, another instance, he came to my block. I don't know if this was before, this had to be before the battle, because we knew each other probably like 91, 92, Daz Effects dropped They Want Effects, right? And again, mind you, we knew each other just from playing Street Fighter, but we didn't, you know, that was our only interactions, right? And then one day I was in front of my building and he was walking up the block, and somebody was like, yo, there he go right there. That's the dude right there. It was like, what dude? It was like, that's the dude that know that new song word for word. And somebody was like, yo, tell him to come here, whatever. Like, so he walked, you know, they called him over, he came over, and they was like, yo, spit that bum stickety, da-da-da, whatever. And yo, on cue, acapella, no music, I watched him spit the whole song back to front. And I was like, yo, hold on. Like, and again, I'm like, come on, I just know this dude from Street Fighter, right? But I'm like, damn, I don't even know the words to that song. So I went home.
But going around the stretch. So here, fight, old boy, fetch, I got the rope of dope. Yes. Raw. Yeah, man, I can still do it.
So I was like, I don't even know him like that. But when I get in this house, I'm gonna find another Daz Effects song, and I'm memorizing it. And then I memorize the lyrics to Microphone Check or Mic Check or whatever. And then we still never talked about rap. We just played Street Fighter until we met in that battle.
Nah, that's dope. That's dope. Yo, so at what point did y'all start doing like music in the studio together?
It paused. It was a long time coming. You know, so I think we started doing demos early. You know what I'm saying? Just like either messing around, doing mixtape type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? We had a couple of songs we did when we was young that hopefully never see the light of day because they trash.
Listen, he ain't like, y'all would be like, we should have never had them on Val. We should have never had them on here.
Nah, dude, I got a history. I can't even say nothing about that. I know what you mean. It's a process. It's definitely a process.
We was definitely in the early stages of that process back then. You know what I'm saying? But I think as far as like us doing music recently, there was like a lot of different factors that kind of got in the way of us doing it in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Us kind of like, you know, like going separate ways as far as life is concerned, because stuff happens. You know what I'm saying? And then just over time, just, us staying connected, getting back together, and eventually getting to a point where there was more of a, I want to say, necessity to actually make music. You know what I'm saying? Like when that came up, we had all the reason in the world to actually do this last joint, so it was probably like, I'm gonna say like 30 years in the making, bro. To
Real
be honest
talk.
with you.
That's dope.
That's dope.
So who are some of the artists that actually, I know y'all named a couple like Dawes Effects, but who are some of the artists that actually influenced you?
I'm gonna let him go first.
I mean, if you're talking about early on, it's gotta be Tribe, it's gotta be Wu-Tang, Big, Nas, Jay, you know what I'm saying? Like real early. Late 80s, talking about Big Daddy Kane, De La Soul, stuff like that. But then as I kind of came into my own as an MC, started paying more attention to like the Black Thoughts and, dudes like that, you know what I'm saying? And then of course, Star is always a part of the influence because, me and him is partners. So with no.
It seemed like y'all kind of. It seemed like y'all kind of feed off of each other lyrically
Nah,
too.
most definitely, and I always say like Life. That's my favorite rapper. Like period, point blank. I don't care about nobody else unsigned. I don't care about nobody signed. I never heard that. Like if he ever had a questionable line, I could probably count that on one hand. You know what I mean? And three of those times might have been something that I just didn't understand. So in my lifetime and the time that I've known him, like maybe I've heard him spit something whack like twice, and that's a stretch. But like, you know what I mean? He's always, to me, just always been a top tier MC. Even when we was kids, he was doing things now that, people are just now learning how to do. And he was doing them effortlessly. I done seen this dude write whole songs with 3 verses, a hook, and everything, you know what I mean, in like 25 minutes, and it's all cohesive. But outside of him, the usuals, like he said, anybody that grew up in our time frame that's from New York, you know what I mean? I might have some obscure influences like Silk the Shocker or some wild, right. That's, listen, he's laughing.
We about to
but
black his screen real quick.
Nah, chill.
Word.
Nah, like listen, it's just like I couldn't even really tell you what it is that I like about Silk like that, but listen, I copped his album twice, probably. Real talk.
Yo, he was legit trying to convince me, like, yo, this dude is nice.
And he is not lying. He is not lying. I was almost about to get a No Limit tank chain. Not really, but
Nah, you really was.
Nah, but
so
I mean, he definitely.
What? That's crazy.
Yeah.
But what would you say make you different from any other duo?
Well, first and foremost, and pause, but our ability to go back and forth. Like, I honestly, I don't, and a lot of people haven't heard of us and all that, but like, if you actually listen, like you said, like, we really do feed off each other, and we take every bar seriously, like to the point where, it's more so me being the recipient of, like, he'd be like, yo, nah, you got to change that. Either your timing is off, or I don't understand that bar, or just you got to change that because da-da-da-da. But, when people hear the finished product, what I mean, we appreciate, and I appreciate, like, all right, I feel you.
Nah, and it's good that y'all can go back and forth like that, and actually you're open to the criticism, knowing it's constructive, because a lot of cats, y'all done been in groups. Nah, it don't always work that way, but you know that.
Yeah.
So let's get into the music that you've been doing recently.
Okay.
So what can you tell us about it?
Yo, it's a couple of joints. Not to cut you off, it's a couple of joints that I was listening to. I was like, yo, I don't know if the name is Tokyo Drift.
Yeah.
Yo.
Wait, okay, can I talk about it before, like?
Yeah, let's go, baby. Talk about it.
Okay. Because this is when I'm not kidding. Like, like when I talk about in life, I'm not really trying to, you know what I mean? Like I always say this. So to me, it's like he doesn't really even take my word for it. You know what I mean? He be getting outside support from other people. Like I just be saying it for what I don't know. But like when I first heard that beat, I think you picked that beat, or did I pick that beat?
I picked it.
He picked the beat, right? And then I struggle writing my verse because I don't know. You know what I mean? Like the hook kind of set the tone for the song, right? So, but luckily I had got stationed in Japan a long time ago, so I was like, I could throw some of those references in there. I was drinking the Japanese whiskey. He used that reference, but I wrote my verse, right? Then he wrote his verse, and like he was like, nah, I'm gonna redo my verse. His verse was fire. Then he hits me one, like, I'm not even lying, like maybe 3 days later, 4 days, 5 max. He was like, yo, I got 3 different verses for Tokyo Drift, which was actually called Lo-Fi Tokyo at the time. And I said, yo, I'm not rewriting my verse, B. Like, I'm not doing it. I'm like, whatever comes out, I'm not redoing it. I don't have the brain capacity. And then, you know, he spit his verse, and I was like, yo, that's it.
Yeah, that's a banger.
So
Appreciate that. Appreciate that.
No, we do appreciate that, and that's one of the few people generally don't even mention that song like that.
Now I'm a beat picker. Like I listen to the beats. Like all y'all joints is dope. The main event joint is hot. All of them joints is dope. Through My Eyes, the joint with Graph. But that joint, that shit, when I heard it, I was like, yo, this a knocker right here. Like, and y'all killed it. The bars is crazy. Like you said, y'all feed off each other well.
Thank
So
you. Thank you.
It's dope. I like good beats, son. If it's a whack beat, I'm skipping. Sorry.
yo, and the crazy thing about me is like I'm a lyric person. Of course, I like, you know what I mean, who don't like dope beats, but I can listen to the lyrics. I gotta listen to the lyrics first. I don't care how fire the beat is, because you know some beats be bananas, and then what are you saying? Sometimes the lyrics don't be. So for me, it's lyrics first.
Dope.
But nah, that's what, like I said, I heard it on the Boom Bap Nation joint when they reposted it, and that's what got me was the lyrics. So I definitely had to reach out.
Good looking.
So I got a question. I got a 2-part question. One of y'all can answer the positive, and one can answer the negative.
All right.
So since y'all started in the rap game, one of y'all give me one positive thing that has changed since y'all beginning, and one give me a negative that you've seen since y'all started in the hip hop.
Like that affects us directly, or like
or
just in
period,
general?
the culture, or in
Okay,
general.
Okay. I would say a positive to me, you know what I'm saying, especially since we just started, you know, really making like a strong push to release music and kind of, you know, branch out or whatever, is just the feedback is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would never think, like, we're not, you know, we're obviously not big, you know, stars, like well-known dudes and nothing like that. But you know what I'm saying? There are people that will go out and they'll seek out music that, you know, basically suits what they like. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that we have people that have hit us from Amsterdam, from Germany, from France, from London, and was like, yo, your music is crazy. Like, I would never imagine, you know, again, going from that kid that was reciting Lottie Dottie when I was like 8 years old to having somebody telling me like, yo, your music is fire.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? That's a definite positive right there, 100%.
Facts. Definitely.
Dope.
I agree. Because I listen, you couldn't have told me like, yo, people is gonna really be like wanting to listen. Even, you know, I'm not gonna say that to us, this is success. You know what I mean? Like, this is a dream of ours. We've been doing this for a long time, you know, pro, semi-pro, whatever you want to call it. And like, we getting interviewed. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a wild to me, you know, that people actually like, yeah, we think it's dope, but like, there's people that appreciate it on a level where they're like, yo, we want to chop it up with y'all. We want to, you know, we fans, we like this, we like that. Like, that's mind blowing to me.
Right.
Dope.
Right. People hitting us for features and stuff like that. Like, I would never imagine that, man. You know what I'm saying? So that's a definite positive. As far as the negative, Star, you want to talk about any negatives you got?
Since I'm a negative Nancy. Nah, the negative, what's the negative? what would be a negative of the games? And I
Like,
would definitely maybe I won't call it a negative, but I would say because we embrace it, right? It's just a part of the journey that's not as gratifying as we would like. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we appreciate the support that we get. And then sometimes we fall victim to being like, but yo, why so-and-so ain't messing with us though? Or why, you know what I mean? And it just, and some people say it's consistency, some people say it's timing, some people say it's luck, talent, whatever, or an alignment of all those things at the same time. But I would say like not necessarily a negative, but just it's definitely it's not a flat road. It always seems to be like uphill. Like just when we get to a point where we're like, all right, boom, we figured this out. It's like always evolving, always fluid.
And then straight, and then up again,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
straight, and then up, and then as soon as you get a little straight, back up again. Yeah, it's
Right.
constant. Yeah,
That's just the nature of the beast, though.
absolutely,
Mhm.
absolutely.
It's just at some point you'll get to a point to where what seems like a an uphill battle now is gonna be, what do they say? What is it? A ant hill to a giant?
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But that's
Yeah.
just, what I mean, trial and error, experience, part of the
Sure.
process.
Absolutely.
Sure. So what are some of the highlights that you've experienced so far?
Highlights.
I got one.
Oh.
The very first video that we made together, you know what I'm saying? Because, both of us is originally from New York. I was born in White Plains, moved to Yonkers. You know what I'm saying? Jay, born in Yonkers, raised in Yonkers.
I was
But
born in New York City, but my bad. Throw that
but
out. Just want to throw that out there for the credibility aspect. My bad.
but both of us ended up moving away, for different reasons, family, life situations, etc. But that very first video that we did, for us to go back to where we grew up and like the block that, what I'm saying, we used to, sit on and play tag and football and, chase girls and all that
Yes.
crazy stuff. Like we did our first video on that block, you know what I'm saying? And then for that video to be received so well, you know what I'm saying? Like, we just kind of shared it with a couple of friends, threw it on YouTube, and the next thing you know, it's got over 1,000 views. And I'm like, oh, like I never expected that. I figured like maybe 50 people to watch it, like 2 people to like it, and then it'll just go away. And that's
Right.
it. And then I look up, I think it's up like, I want to say like 2-3 weeks, and it's like boom, 1,000 views. And I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? That was a definite highlight for me because I just didn't expect for us to get that kind of love like off the rip. You know what I'm saying? So
No, that's dope. That's dope. You got one, Star?
Honestly, and prior to that, just us coming together and being serious enough to make the album. You know what I'm saying? Because like he said, this is 30 years. It was 30 years in the making. And it just for me, it just came together perfectly. You know what I'm saying? Like the final product is to me, it's a flawless victory.
No, that's dope. Have y'all been doing like any shows?
We have never done a show, not together anyway. No, we never done a show.
That's
But
dope.
that we got to put that's in the plans though.
yeah, we definitely have to. I've done a show. I've done a few shows like a long time ago. Performed with like a couple of rock bands and stuff like that, just acting stupid, jumping over stages and into crowds. All of the white folks kind of step to the side when when dudes be jumping into the crowd. You know what I mean? But that's about it. But that was like maybe like 15 years ago.
No, dope. So it sounds like y'all will be doing that eventually.
Fingers crossed, man.
Fingers crossed.
Nah, it's definitely coming. So I know you mentioned working with Graph. What other known artists or producers or DJs have you all worked with?
Head start.
We work with Chris Rivers. I'm gonna say that's about that's the extent of it right there as far as
Okay.
anybody that we worked with. Oh,
Yeah.
and Flam. Now let me pay my respects. And Flam, he definitely is cemented. He's more on the I don't know if you want to call it R&B type, but he sings the hook on the joint God's Material that we did with Chris Rivers.
Okay.
That whole experience with Chris Rivers was great, man. You know what I'm saying? So You know, he actually agreed to meet us in LA to shoot the video. You know what I'm saying? He got out there. And like for me, I guess, you know, it was like a little bit of anxiety being around like this dude. In my mind, I'm like, yo, this is the son of like one of
the greatest.
like this dude is my legend, Big Pun. You know what I'm saying? He's incredible with the pen. He's incredible with the pen. You know, so like to have his son in like the same room as me was just, I was bugging. But the dude was mad humble. He was mad cool. He was funny. You know what I'm saying? He's real personable. You know what I'm saying? So like the experience was just, it was a blessing. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So yeah.
Nah, it was
really
it was
dope.
definitely a dope day. Like, because I think Life got in after, so I picked him up from the airport, and same thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what to expect. To me, I'm picking up. You know, I'm a local rapper. I'm about to pick up a celebrity. You know what I mean? And then he came with his man Oswin Benjamin. But like, you know, I text him when I'm outside the airport. He was like, "Yo, here we come." You know what I mean? Dapped them up, all that. And then it's like, as soon as the doors closed in the whip, it was like, those was dudes I knew. You know what I mean? Like, it was jokes all day long. Like, I don't know, Life, if you was in there when we was talking about, like, yo, what y'all do if you mess up your words during the video shoot? And they was like, yo, we do that all the time. We done did that on stage at shows. Like, you just got to play it off. You know what I mean? He was like, yo, I might turn my back to the camera or look real mean in the camera. Like, I was like, yo, I don't know why I never thought. I thought the whole video was a wash. Like, yo, we got to start from scratch. He was like, nah, we stay making mistakes.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's part of the game. I done been on stage and forgot everything.
It happens. It happens to the best.
Then you just like, everybody put your hands in the air, say oh.
Yo, maybe me, I just freestyle everything from that point.
Oh, word. Okay.
They're like, oh, we ain't never heard that before. Yeah, that's why, because I forgot.
So now, so since y'all started rapping together, do you guys have an ultimate goal together or separate goals in hip hop?
One of our ultimate goals is to definitely perform, like maybe be a part of a small tour together. You know what I'm saying? I think, you know, just, and it's not about the money, but you know, life always reminds me that we spend a little bread, we should make a little, you know what I mean, to cover operating costs and things like that. But I also think, you know, it's also just to get our name out there, you know, so people recognize, like, there's hip hop out there, you know what I'm saying? You might have to do a little digging, but we here.
Right. Absolutely.
With that said though, like, you know, people, like you said, a lot of people might not know you, and obviously it's not an issue, but do you think there's a cutoff point as far as age when it comes to hip hop?
I don't think that. Oh, there you go. Yeah, I don't think there should be. But you know, if you can, you know what? It's 2022. I'm gonna jump out the window and say, even if you can't do it well, if you doing it and it makes you happy, who cares? If you have one fan or zero, but you happy rapping, do you? You know what I mean? That's your prerogative. That's your birthright. You know what I'm saying? But in hip hop, we do tend to like put parameters on people, right? Like, oh, you in your 40s, you can't be rapping, or yo, you know, it's like something that's a taboo, or it's only acceptable for people that was already, you know, cemented in the game.
But I feel like at this point that, you know what I mean, if you look at hip hop now, it's like you got cats in their 50s, you got cats in their 40s, and all the way down. So it's like you got different audiences now.
Right.
Yo, Jay-Z just did a feature on a new joint with Pusha T, right?
Right.
He killed it. And he's like 53, 54 years old.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm not saying that a dude might not be nice. Like, let's say Rakim. Do you think we of course we're fans, we want to hear some Rakim, but do you think a 17-year-old really interested in hearing Rakim drop an album?
Not at all.
Nah, but that's a whole deeper another conversation that's not for this right here. To me personally, like I feel like there's certain things put in place to kind of design people to kind of go in certain directions where they're not gonna appreciate, you know what I'm saying, what actually came before them. Like a dude like Rakim, you know, and I've had this conversation with younger dudes all the time. I've had dudes tell me like, yo, if it ain't Lil Baby, then it ain't popping. And I'm like, bro, like the dudes that came before Lil Baby paved the way for it to be a little baby. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
You know, and I think that's the part that gets missed when you look at other music. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, even pop music. You know what I'm saying? Like a chick like Ariana Grande will go back and say, like, I appreciate Mariah Carey and I appreciate Patti LaBelle because she realizes that they paved the way for who she became. You know what I'm saying? But it feel like hip hop is the only culture where it's like, oh, we don't care about them old dudes. That's yesterday's news. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the only culture that does that.
But
And
that's
to me,
how
that's
the
real
industry
unfortunate.
pushes it though.
Yeah, exactly. The industry pushes it that way. That's why I said that's a whole other conversation. I could talk about that for like an hour. You know what I'm saying?
you
But
and me
add
both.
another hour to that for me.
Now, I just, some people, we question that. Like, we always talk about what's going on in the culture, but do we have any suggestions on how to change it, or are we really going to put the footwork to change it?
At what point are we gonna take it back? That's what I want to know.
Take it back?
No, and
You
what
mean
I
like
mean by take it back is like it's ours.
you mean like our generation or our culture as
Our culture in general. Like,
our culture in
at what
general.
point are we gonna take it back and say, hey, this is enough? Like, y'all are influencing our kids horribly. Money is not everything, and that's easy for
Nah,
me
you
to
right.
say, but look at it as a whole. Like, we are all around the same age. Like, hip hop for me growing up was a lifesaver, right? Like,
Facts.
I could name 2 or 3 albums that probably saved my life, period. And I'm sure we
Facts.
all can.
Mhm.
But you can't say that now. There's no way you could tell me these kids could be like, this little baby album saved my life.
Yo, but you'd be surprised. You'd be
Nah, but
surprised.
honestly, to me, you would be surprised. You know, because maybe there's something on there that made that person want to stop doing something in the streets and then strive to go be like Lil Baby in the sense of, you know, I wanna rock the ice. Okay, fine. If that's what helped quote unquote save your life and get you to a different place in life, then okay, fine. Um, to me,
And that's a
I
point.
I don't know if it's necessarily something that we need to save or take back per se. Like for instance, I think about a friend of mine pointed out to me. This is probably like in like around 2005. He pointed out to me an old Billboard chart from like the early 90s. And when I look at what was on that chart, it was like it was Ice Cube, it was Skilo, I Wish, it was Tribe Called Quest, it was Queen Latifah, Coolio was on it. But if you think about it, those people all sounded what? They all sounded different, right?
Yeah.
They all sounded different. So like I feel like you can have Griselda and you can have Lil Baby exist in the same space. They should get the equal recognition. You know what I'm saying? Like they should both be charting artists that can both be highly successful. At the, you know, like at the end of the day, there's room for everybody in this. It shouldn't just be, well, if you ain't doing this, then you ain't popping. To me, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Right.
There's room for everybody to eat.
Right. They said the same thing with R&B. They was like, what the fuck is this? Like a guy singing on the track with a nigga rapping. In the beginning, that was like ludicrous until like, they accepted it. Some people don't, real hip hop heads don't agree with R&B hip hop. They don't agree with that collabo. So it's like, just like you said, you got all genres, all different varieties on the thing. So that's what's happening now. These kids got a difference of, they can listen to either the old school shit, the new school shit. It's weird. But all right, that's dope. I mean, that makes sense. Shit.
No doubt.
We gotta keep we gotta keep the culture alive.
No, definitely. And I mean that's for us, it's like something that does it's almost like it's like automatic, it's involuntary because that's what we know. That's the era that we identify with the most. Because, and I think I said it in another discussion that we had, like, high school is like it's an important 4 years of your life, junior high, all that. Like the music that we talking about, the music that we make represents and is a reflection of the soundtrack of our lives at that time. You know what I mean? So these kids that how kids are nowadays, the majority of them they listen to that music because it resonates with them for some reason. You know what I mean? I'm not here to say it's bad, it's great, or whatever, but they love it, and the labels and the executives, they making this huge push for everybody to sound like that. And like Life said, it's nothing wrong to have that style of music existing in that space and in this style of, and everybody can be recognized, maybe not necessarily equally, but it's there. It's all given the same amount of room to breathe and grow.
Mhm.
Right. 100%.
Yeah, but you know it's something other behind it because
Right.
where's the Queen Latifahs? Where the
Right.
where's the Rock Kims? Where and
You
even
can't be
like
Queen Latifah now. You gotta be Cardi. You gotta be
know,
Megan. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
You gotta twerk.
where the
Don't get me wrong.
Bahamadia
I definitely love the twerking. Don't get me wrong.
Facts. Listen,
It's,
facts.
it's beautiful to watch, you know,
Mhm.
but you still need somebody that's gonna say something and actually give a message, you
Yeah,
know, with the music as well. So yeah.
exactly. Exactly. Yo, so where can the people follow and support your music?
On YouTube, at Star Lyphe. This is Star underscore and underscore Life.
Nah,
That it?
nah. On YouTube, it's just Star in Life.
My bad.
Lyphe. Life is an acronym. It means love your people, hate your enemies. Lyphe.
That's
So
dope.
Star in Life. You can follow us on YouTube, and then of course we got a Star in Life. That's the underscore joint. So on IG at Star underscore and the and sign Lyphe on IG. And then of course just myself is just K double on IG, J to the Star, and that's it.
No,
Oh, and
that's
we
what's
on
up.
Bandcamp too. We on Bandcamp too. Star Lyphe on Bandcamp.
Or anything we didn't speak on that y'all want to speak on?
Nah, just we definitely like we said, we appreciative of these opportunities. You know what I mean? It means a lot to us because this is, again, it's like a dream being actualized. You know what I'm saying? Like 20, 30 years ago, if you would have told me that I was, people would be listening to our music and people would want to interview us and talk to us about our perspective on this music, I'd be like, you lying. You know what I mean? Ain't no way. You know what I'm saying? So we definitely
Bro.
appreciate it. We just hope more people continue to check for us. You know what I'm saying? And we will have some more music for people soon.
Absolutely. And yo, also, before we bounce, I gotta say, special shout out, our homegirl UV, you know what I'm saying, definitely helping us out, in terms of just, keeping us focused and giving us opportunities like coming on Validated, you know what I'm saying? So you always need, like a strong team in your corner. So she is the team. She does everything, you know what I'm saying? Like as far as,
Dope.
like pushing our music, the merch, all that other stuff. So salute UVD, we appreciate you.
She is probably the quintessential, the biggest Star and Life fan and supporter. You know what I'm saying? Like she really messes with our music and she really believes in us. So we definitely appreciate that.
I'm gonna have to say after my wife, because if my wife see this, you don't want.
I don't have a wife. I got a 16-year-old daughter, but she be listening to Lil Baby, so I'm gonna leave that at that. I'm gonna leave that at that. No hate to Lil Baby. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So the album is out, right? Wins, losses, and draws.
Yes, sir.
Wins, losses, and draws, yes, sir.
And you said it's on y'all Bandcamp, right?
Yeah, it's on Bandcamp. It's everywhere.
Bandcamp, YouTube. It's on iTunes, Spotify. It's on Tidal. It's on my phone. It's everywhere.
Yeah,
man.
it's everywhere.
Got you.
Yo, so what's your, and I know we was wrapping up, but I'm here for a minute. So what's like your favorite joint off the album?
Go ahead, Star.
My favorite joint, honestly, is 11th Hour, which is probably nobody else's favorite song. But it's I'm not gonna say it's our most personal song because we got Miss You, where we both talking about our moms who have since been deceased. But 11th Hour, because it's like I'm talking to life, you know what I'm saying? And I'm telling people specifically about our relationship And you know, like how I open the verse, you know what I mean? 40 candles on my cake. I'm Mickey Mantle at the plate. If I die first, I told KW to handle my estate. You know what I mean? That's the 100% the truth. And hopefully it don't happen. But you know what I mean? Like that's how deep this relationship is.
I'm trying to figure out a way to make that happen without him really knowing.
Damn, what, me dying or what?
I mean, we're not going to talk about it on the air, you know.
Oh, I bet. No, we don't want to leave no evidence. I got you. But listen, if something happened to me, y'all know who orchestrated it.
Yeah. So, besides that Tokyo Drift, where you said you wanted to change the verse, any songs y'all clashed on that stayed on the album that maybe one of y'all thought wouldn't be dope and said, you was right?
Nah, honestly, we never, I'm gonna keep it a buck. We never clash on nothing like that. And real life, don't lie. We mainly clash, like I might be off on something, you know what I mean? Because listen, like I rap, but he's like a lyricist. You know what I mean? Like he's extremely technical. His ear catches a lot of stuff. Like I'm a more like, I don't want to say artsy fartsy, you know what I mean? But like that's the type of how I go about it. He is a technical, and I mean not that's not a knock, but like any technical term, you know, he knows all of that. I don't know none of that. And if I do know it, it's because he was like, yo, listen, when you doing this alliteration or you doing this multi-syllabic yo, I'm gonna keep
alliterations, the multis, the safety pins, the shadow boxes, all of that stuff, you know.
And I didn't want to bring up Mickey Facts, you know what I mean? But yeah, he did a Mickey Facts did a post where he was naming all these things. I'm like, yo, what is he talking about? Like, to me, I'm just rapping. You know what I mean? But Lyphe, he be knowing the definitions and all that. So if we do clash, it usually be like, yo, Star, you got too many bars. You need another half a bar. Either that or you taking too long with your 4 bars. That's literally the crux of anything we argue about on a song.
Syllable count. So like, for instance, if I'm like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Your first line had 14 syllables in it. Your second line can't have 16 because it's just not going to be cohesive.
Yeah, he'd be like, don't you see why you running out of breath? That's why you run. Like, he be hitting me like he's my big brother, but like he really be going in sometimes.
That's dope though, because he only sharpening your skills.
No, 100. But listen, so we would think, but I still be forgetting. You know what I mean? So then we go do something else, and he'd be like, yo, didn't I tell you when you do X? I'd be like, yo, if he don't shut up talking to me like he's KRS-One, the teacher.
What is the truth, though?
Nah, it do be the truth. It do be the truth. Listen, I admitted it on live, so it's gonna be out there. You know what I'm saying?
Who titles y'all songs? How do y'all come up with the titles?
It's a mix. It's just random. Depends. Yeah.
Because I go through troubles with the producers who do the beats. They might have a name that has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. So being that y'all 2 artists, you know, sometimes y'all might write something and be like, yo, we're going to call this. You be like, nah, so that shit corny. Nah, let's name it something.
But like I said, I'm more artsy fartsy. So I'll be like, you know, and we peep other people's stuff. Like you hear a song, like, yo, this song is dope. What's the name of it? And it'd be like, Street Lights came on, but the song don't got nothing to do with it. But if it's dope, it's the title you're not gonna forget. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you heard Street Lights came on by so and so. You heard Top Rope Macho Man Elbow. Yo, that's crazy. Boom. You know what I mean? Like, the song might be about nothing, but the title is like, yo, what is this?
Right.
No, true that. So y'all got any joints in the cut that didn't make the album?
Oh,
we got 2. We got 2, but one of them got lost. Our engineer lost one of them. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, we got that, but then besides that, we got other music that we haven't released yet. So you know, we're gonna constantly be releasing stuff.
Dope.
Yeah, man.
That's dope.
That's what's up. Yo, so I'm gonna say this, and then we're gonna get up out of here. But so I know y'all, like I said earlier, I know y'all work with Graph. I know y'all work with a couple other cats. But which artists that aren't known per se that you all would like to work with? Like, I know y'all know cats that rhyme, or y'all got cats in y'all camp that rhyme. Like, it's some cats somewhere that's unknown that y'all that y'all are fans of that you wouldn't mind working with? Shed some light on them.
And I honestly, we already have had the opportunity to work with them through Dominion Cypher's platform. Basically, it was a kind of a rap challenge platform on IG, and we formed a group called Pride of New York. And and I'll be honest, like initially I wasn't even trying to do it because I don't like the pressure of having to write every week, you know what I mean, and all that. But we did it, and we got a chance to work with dope rappers: Show Rock, Spec Arson, Den, Hardy Legend, D Rhymes, Royalty, The Fire, Bison. Who I missed? MCS.
Yeah.
Yeah, like honestly, it's a dope. It's a crazy that we linked up with Show Rock. Did I not say? How I not say Show Rock?
Nah, I think you actually said Show Rock first. I don't know if y'all know who Show Rock is, and I'm not gonna go too crazy on him, but the dude is ridiculous. He's absolutely ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? But everybody in that whole collective is crazy.
Yeah. So we definitely like, and it's like again, like it's dope that they like us, we like them, and then we kind of work together whenever. You know what I'm saying?
I thought you was gonna say somebody that's like actually out there, like who would we work with that's like an actual established
Oh no,
artist?
that's covered. Yeah,
but
that's covered. That's a
everybody do
typical
that.
question. We ask, who would you like to work with?
I want to
You
do a
know.
track with Benny, man.
But-
I want to do a track with Benny, but I never sold not one drug in my life. So we're gonna have to make it about something else because Benny be having me thinking like I'm ready to cop a brick. Whatever. Whatever.
What about you?
I'm actually let Star answer mine because he already knows the one dude I want to work with.
He want to work with Black Thought.
100%.
You want
100%. And listen, I'm gonna get 8. Pause. I'm gonna get 8.
See, and that's why I was trying to cut him off. I'm telling you right now. Let me just align with the universe real quick. Boom. If Lyphe and Black Thought get on a track, it's not gonna happen. Like, this is what's gonna happen. Lyphe is gonna send Black Thought his verse, right? Because that's just courtesy since Black Thought is like up here, right? So we assume. And then when Black Thought hears it, he's gonna be like, yo, nah, I gotta hit son. I gotta talk to him on the phone. This is how I'm seeing it going down in my mind. And then when I hear it, I'm telling you, because it's not, I've put him up against anybody's top 5. Like, if you take out, and Black Thought is a perfect example, right? Because he's not a trap rapper. He's not like a gun clap rapper, not a street rapper. He's just an all-around rapper that has knowledge infinite, right? So if you take out all those variables, like selling dope or being a gangster or shooting somebody or being a pimp, and you just put it down to like bars, no battle rap, like we just spitting, nah, ain't no. I will put $50,000 on my man Lyphe.
Dope.
Somebody gonna have to pay 50,000 to help this dude out when it's over with.
Nah.
But yo, you know what? I'm gonna go out there and do my
incredible.
best though. But yeah, man, I would definitely work with Black Thought like first over anybody, like over Hove, Nas, respect to them dudes. I'll work with Black Thought first.
No, that's
Yeah, because
dope.
I was gonna do a track with Hov, but I was like, you know what? I don't. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have time right now.
You don't know what he gonna try to talk about, right?
Exactly.
Nah, that's what's up. All right, y'all. So we're gonna wrap this joint up. Any last words for the people?
Yo, keep your ears open and keep your eyes peeled for Star Lyphe. You know what I'm saying? If you haven't heard Wins, Losses, and Draws, go check it out. You know what I'm saying? And check it out again. Tell a friend to tell a friend.
That's it. Music is available on YouTube, Bandcamp, iTunes, Spotify, anywhere you go listen to music, we there.
Word.
That's what's up, y'all. And just like that, you heard it from here, heard it from them first. One time for hip hop culture. We out.